We're here inside of Beaver Stadium after Penn State's narrow loss to number 2 Indiana, 27-24. Will, what a game.
What a game.
That was an incredible showing. We didn't go in to Beaver Stadium expecting this whatsoever. You can just talk about Penn State. Penn State battled, Penn State fought, Penn State got to the end, obviously took that late lead off of the Nick Singleton run, and then it was that last drive from Indiana, Mark Cooper, Fernando Mendoza. What a catch, what a drive, what about 80 yards right there. I mean, I think we can start right there. Will, what was your takeaway from that last defensive drive?
Yeah, I mean, Penn State, they got off to a great start on that drive defensively. Zane Durant got home for that sack, but then Indiana kind of started marching down the field. There was like multiple just passes that were just really just impressive from the Hoosiers, and it's really just impressive catches, and especially that last one in the end zone that won the game, obviously. But Deni Denson, I mean, he kind of mentioned how defense kind of failed Penn State there. I mean, it's 3rd and 7. They need to get a stop there, but Indiana scores. Otherwise, I'd say the timeout usage there was not great at all. Like, they had that one timeout where they had to spend when Deni Denson, Zane Durant, Jariah Fisher were all off the field and trying to sub back on. And it just got mixed up with everything. Then Terry Smith, I saw him just sprint down basically right in front of me to get that timeout off. But I mean, yeah, that was just not the best, like, clock management there from Penn State.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of positives for Penn State. Again, like, you're battling with the number 2 team in the country. Obviously, no one expected them to win this game. I mean, the spread was a little closer than I would have thought, 14.5. So, I mean, obviously, there was some expectation that it wouldn't be an absolute blowout. But I think the timeouts, you have to talk about it. I think it was a killer. Again, you have Jariah Fisher, Zane Durant, and Deni Denson. Not just the fact that there was substitution issues with them, the fact that they were off the field in general in the last drive of the game was kind of baffling to me. I think it was Ty Blanding, Jalen Harvey, and Ivan Camacho. And Ivan Camacho, he did make a play. He made a play right before he was subbed back out. But I think you just can't have that in those moments. That can be a lesson for Terry Smith, obviously. He might have not made that direct call. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces. Uses defensive line coach as a guy who's going to make your subs. But in that moment, you cannot sub. I think you have to go with, first, it has to be your ones, and you have to stick with them. Another thing from that drive, obviously, Dom DeLuca, he was a little hurt after kickoff was out, and Alex Tash got gashed. That was part of the reason that Fernando Mendoza and company were able to drive down the field. But let's switch to the other side of things. Nick Singleton. We finally saw Nick Singleton, 59-yard touchdown going that way. I can guarantee you that it was going right over there. I mean, what a game from Nick Singleton. Well, I mean, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably his best game of the season, like, pretty easily. I mean, he's been kind of just, like, slow or just, like, lackluster in terms of, like, production throughout the start of this season. But it's like today, it's like that was a completely different story. And despite Katron Allen kind of taking all the, like, recognition as Penn State's best back, I'd say Nick Singleton was Penn State's best running back today. I mean, he really just kept Penn State's offense in it and gave him a chance. I mean, without his 3 touchdowns, like, Penn State's not in this game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. He's a fighter. I mean, he's talked about how hard this season has been on him, and, like, it was like, it's kind of like good for Nick Singleton. Like, he has been battling through so much to get through this, to break through. Like, he hasn't been able to make these runs, and then, like, you get to that 59-yard run. Like, the saying is, if he's even, he's leaving. But a lot of the times, Nick Singleton will get even and either run into a blocker, something like that, at least this season. This time, he absolutely took off. I think another thing we got to touch on again is just the team's effort. I mean, they fought. Terry Smith said after the game, he was like, basically, a Terry Smith team, you would never question them. You would never question whether they will quit on the game, whether they play hard. Terry Smith takes these games hard. He put it on him. He said he owed this to the guys. He said that, you know, he really wanted to get this win for guys. I mean, all the things going on this season. And, I mean, it was likewise from the players. You talked to King Mack. King Mack said he's like a father to them. He talked about, you know, how Terry makes you want to not just run through a brick wall, but run through a brick wall with no helmet, which I don't know about. I think there's a lot of things that can cause that. I wouldn't want to do that if I was on the team, but that's just me. King Mack has clearly bought in. Zane Durant echoed the same thing. I mean, it was really good effort from a team that has lost 6 games at this point. They have to win out to be bowl eligible. Like, I mean, I think it was a very impressive showing from Penn State in terms of effort.
Yeah, I mean, I think that effort kind of led the crowd to just be a lot more, like, positive to the players. I mean, last time Penn State was here, they were booing James Franklin, like, off the field, and there was a lot of negativity after that game. But today, even though Penn State lost, it's like it was still like it's the post-game vibes on the field weren't as bad as the Northwestern game, and I think a lot of like Penn State fans, they were kind of more proud of what the players did today, and even though getting a tough loss to Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, I think that says something. I mean, going in here, I didn't know what to expect. I was kind of up and down, and then you kind of saw early before kickoff, it didn't seem really too vibrant. The student section was empty, just like the Northwestern game. I was like, here it goes again. It wasn't as much negativity as the last game, but then once Penn State started playing, once Penn State started fighting, I think they came back from down 10 late to, give themselves a chance. Once they started fighting, the crowd came alive. I mean, you had big plays. Penn State threw the ball down the field. They chucked it deep. One was an interception. The other one was another, should have been interception. But Penn State chucked the ball down the field, and it worked out for them for any reason but obviously the end result. With that, again, Penn State dropped its 6th straight game of the season and will move on to Michigan State. We'll see you next time.